Uh, Hi, everybody. This is Nalini Elkins with Industry Network Technology Council. This webinar is being recorded. Let's give people a couple of minutes to join, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and start. I see people are joining. Um, for everybody's information, this webinar is being recorded, so be aware of that. If you have questions or anything, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. And as when we have time at the end, I'll go ahead and ask Quinn your questions. So today's talk is on NIST PQC standardization. Let me tell you a couple of things about the presenting organization. I am Nalini Elkins with Industry Network Technology Council. We collaborate with the India Internet Engineering Society. That's why you'll see my heading as that. We are a nonprofit that is the global independent forum and discussion place for standardization and other activities that involve real-time, real networks and how they impact us. As I say, we are vendor neutral. The India Internet Engineering Society, based in India, is again a nonprofit. Their mission is to increase IETF capacity in India. Some of the things that we have done is we've had a webinar series for quite a few years on IPv6 deployment at enterprises, and we have seen some actual results out of that. Some universities are now collaborating, especially in India, to implement IPv6. One has already done so successfully. We have had discussions, webinars on security. And then now this year, we're focusing on new work, of which post-quantum PQ is a major part of what has been going on at the IETF for the past few years and increasing its pace now. To that end, we have Quinn, who will be speaking for us. I'll give you more about him in a moment. Just a couple of things on grants. We've had grants from Aaron and APNIC. And just a note, we have a new member on our board who is from LACNIC. So that's wonderful. I'll skip past this quickly. I've been around for quite a few years. My life has been ill spent. But let's talk about Quinn. Quinn works at the National Institute of Standards and Technology of the United States. NIST is a very important organization because much of what they do is followed throughout the world. And that's why US NIST is very important to follow. And there's a number of controversies between some of the reports and recommendations that NIST has put out and some of the work that IETF is doing. And Quinn will discuss maybe some of that, or we'll ask him. He'll also tell you the process by which we come by these cryptographic standards. He's had many years in the industry, and I'm looking very forward to having him present. Thank you so much. And so off to you, Quinn.
Thank you for that very kind introduction, and it is my honor and my pleasure to be here with all of you today to discuss our post-quantum cryptography project. Are we seeing my screen?
Yes, yes, we see your screen.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Quinn Dang at NIST, and I have been in the cryptographic technology group for more than 20 years over here, and it has been a really good career for me over here. And today I'm very happy to be with you to discuss about our post-quantum cryptography project that we have been doing for several years now. As we all know, when a large enough quantum computer becomes available, all the current secure websites and communications that we relied on public key cryptography will be broken, and that will be a huge catastrophe to the whole world. Therefore, we started this project. There is an important note. For symmetric key crypto, like AES, a hash function, they will be affected, but not much. And we still believe in their securities. And here is a summarize of the latest survey publicly done. The views from top physicists in quantum physics, and what we currently have is that some people have more optimistic view, some people had less. And on the graph over here, the bottom line is for the people who have pessimistic view of quantum computers, and the upper line is for the people who have the opposite view. And in here, we can see the timeline. So within 10 years, we have somewhere from 19% to 34% chances of a large enough quantum computer to become available. And then for the 15 years, we have 39 to 62 percent. And the risk is significant in our view. We started the project officially in 2016. We called the crypto community to work with us to study, analyze, and making proposals for digital signatures and KEMs to replace the current public key crypto standards that we have. And our goal was and is still to manage the process, to take in all the research and evaluation work by the cryptographic community. And also we do our internal research and analysis as well. However, the crypto community is very, very, very large and has done tremendous amount of work. And we're so grateful in able to utilize all those work into developing our standard. And we're deeply grateful for that. And in order to help the designers, we specified 5 security levels listed over here so that the designers know what security strength target that they need to design for the system. And the result recently we have in 2014 is over here. 2014, late 2014, we finished 3 standards, significant standards. One is KEM, based on lattice hard problems, and now the other 2 are also and the signature, the lithium, which now has the name ML-DSA, also based on lattice hard problem. And we have the hash function-based digital signature named SLH-DSA. They are finished in 2014, and have been adopted that in different standards and protocols in a lot of places, such as the IETF. And also we expect to put out a draft for another signature standard, which has shorter signature than the lithium ML-DSA. And that fifth number is 206. And so have an eye out for that. It will come out, a draft will come out soon for public review and comments. And here is a capture of the project with a timeline when we started it. In 2017, we started it the first round, and we received like 69 submissions. In 2018, we finished the first round, we started second round, and we cut down the number to 26. And the round 3 started it in 2019 with 15 candidates. We have 7 finalists and 8 alternates. The alternates are the one promising. However, the finalists are really one of the really the target that we hope the community to analyze more, to pay more attention to, so that we would again strong confidence in their securities. And in 2023, we finished the 3 drafts of the 3 fifths that we mentioned previously. And in 2024, we finished those 3 fifths, and they came out for adoption and validation and for deployment. And right now, in 2025, we just finished 2025 with round 4. And in the round 4, we'll go over the round 4 a little bit in the next slide. And also in 2024, we came out a call for additional proposals for signatures. The reason was that we wished and wanted to have a signature candidate which has shorter signature size, because ML-DSA could be considered a little bit too large in some use cases. And also we wanted to have a signature scheme based on different security foundation. Right now, the 2 fifths of we have ML-KEM, ML-DSA, they're both based on lattice security. And also the upcoming one, the 206 Falcon, former name Falcon, is also based on hard problems in lattice. And here in 2026, right now, we are in the round 2 of the on-ramp with 14 algorithms. And more information about the round 4, we concluded the round 4, and we decided going to standardize HQC over byte and classified release. The reason we selected HQC was that we had more clear picture of the security of HQC in CCA model. We like byte a lot. It had very good performance, basically very shorter signature and key size than HQC. However, we did not have the full picture of CCA security of byte at that time. We made some progress in analysis internally and with the cryptographic community. However, the full picture was not completed yet. So we decided to go with HQC, and we have very confidence in its security. The reason we did not decide to standardize classified release right now was that we were not confident enough that classified release would become widely deployed because of its big key size. And also it was also been considered in ISO as well. And we did not want any discrepancies between two standards. So we wait and to see how it is going to be deployed and standardized in the future. And then at that time, we would take another look at that. We also wrote a special publication. It's called Recommendations for KEMs, and the number is SP 800-225. And this publication was important because we wanted to discuss with the protocol community and the user communities about KEMs. What KEMs provides, what kind of security KEM actually provides from ML-KEM, and how to use it in protocol securely. And we also discussed some guidelines on the hybrid key establishment scheme, which have been vetted and discussed very heavily at the ITF recently. For this process, we held an online seminar to discuss all the matter related to KEMs, and we have the slides listed over here. And I recommend you go to look at the slides and the workshop to get more information. And if you have further questions or discussions, let me know. For the on-ramp signatures, we started with 40 candidates. Right now we have 16 of them. And one of the reason we made this project was because of the two reasons I mentioned previously, a little bit more. So we have ML-DSA, which we have strong confidence in its security, but it's kind of big for some applications. And we had a lot of feedbacks from the community, the protocol communities. Then they desired something shorter. So then their system would work much better in with a new one like that. So we started it. And also we hope to get something different from lattice security. So any lattice proposal, we expect and we expect to have substantial performance or some additional security properties in order for it to be considered advanced into the future. And we also receive a lot of questions regarding to how about KEMs? Why don't we have an additional KEMs? At this moment, we don't have a plan for new process to get new KEMs yet. Based on our current understanding of the field, and also based on, we would like to see how ML-KEM is going to be deployed and used in the real world first. And this is second round we are in right now. And currently, these are what we have. We have 5 candidates, which based on the multivariate quadratic equation, the harness how to solve them. And we have the MBC in the head type of scheme. We have 5, or basically 6 of them. You know, we can consider fees is in that category as well. But the difference is that many of them, they are based on different hard problems. We have min rank problem, we have central recordum problem, we have a permuted kernel problem, and you have multivariate quadratic equation harness solving problem. And also we have the other algorithms which are based on the other harness problems as well. We have lattice, which is hard, We have two code-based ones, cross and less, and we have feast, which is based on symmetric key, how to recover the secret key, and based on multi-party in the head paradigm to provide commitments and a proof of knowledge. And we have isogenous based one, SQ side, isogenous of elliptic curves. And having the standard, another next step is how we can help to make the transition or deployment faster. As we know right now, if someone who harvests, stores all the communication right now, and in the future when they have practical quantum computer, they could decrypt all the encrypted traffic right now. If the traffic has been protected by public key cryptography, like the TOS we're using today, or IBSAC we are using today for our communication. And also we published a draft to discuss about the transition to PQC options. And we had that in November 2024. And after receiving a lot of comments from the academia and industry, we've been revising the document right now. And we expect the document will be completed very soon in the near future. And in this document, we discuss about the cryptography which are vulnerable to quantum computers. And we discuss about the current post-quantum cryptography standards that we have and what we are working on. And we also discuss about the use cases and the scenarios and how to make the deployments or transition smoothly or faster. One of the important points in this document is that we are going to make a policy when people must move to post-quantum cryptography in their system. For people who are required to follow FIPS, then right now what we have is that everything got to be post-quantum after 2025. For right now, people are allowed to use the current classical public key cryptography to protect the information, but no more after 2035. And for symmetric key, we are okay with 128 bits of security. For example, AS128 is still approved for now, and we don't see a clear date when it's going to be a problem. We still believe in this security, even in post-quantum world. And also different applications, different use cases that might have different priorities, how fast the industry and the vendors can move to post-quantum cryptography. And we discuss it as well in our documents. Besides us, we are aware of many other international organizations have been working on post-quantum cryptography standardization as well. The ITF have been working on post-quantum solution for a few years now. And as mentioned previously, have been very, very active. And it's very important, a lot of important work have been done over here. Many protocols have adopted post-quantum solutions like TOS Working Group, IBSAC, LAMS, and COSI are working on that as well. And a lot of important discussions around post-quantum have been done in the PQC group also. And the ISO also have been working on post-quantum as well. ML-KEM, the one in 5203, and Classic Elite and Frodo-KEM are going to be adopted and standardized by ISO. And ML-DSA, which was named Lithium in the past, and the hash-based signature 15205 SLH-DSA, they're going to be considered for standardization in ISO as well. Also, we are aware of similar work in the by the European Telecommunication Standards Institute, and they have the subgroup which is looking into post-quantum cryptography right now. It's named Security Algorithms Group of Experts. And here is the just the PQC website, which has a lot of working documents that the working groups have been working on. Another big effort that we've been working on, that's been done by our National Security Excellence Center of Excellence. It supports the White House executive orders, and it tackling challenges in adoption, implementation, and deployments of PQC, and it engaged with industry and the government across the board, and to bring up awareness and education to the issue involved with cryptography in the post-quantum world. And also, it's coordinated all the standard organization as well. And a lot of good work has been done in the last few years at this center. And here is the partial list of the collaborators that we currently have. And it is growing. So we're really grateful for this organization who have been working with us in this effort. And when we look at the timeline with our post-quantum cryptography research and standardization over the last several years, and we look at the NCOE effort in this direction, this is what we have. The NCOE, they started this project in 2021. And in 2022, they started with 40 collaborators to work with them in this effort. And in 2023, they published the few drafts to help with this efforts. And in 2025, we had a lot more collaborators, and they had done more than 50 demonstrations on different systems and different protocols, how post-quantum cryptography enabled protocols application work. So that's significant milestone to demonstrate and to provide the tools for the industry and for the user to utilize in their transition. And here are the documents that we just mentioned previously. And we have a Q&A question for this effort as well. And here is the contact information, and I strongly recommend you to join in. We really welcome your effort to work with us on this. And here is the general contact information regarding to post-quantum cryptography project that we have been doing to do with the technical matters, research matter, standardization matter, and policy matters. We're here to help. And in some of the important notes I would like to mention over here, The first one is that the FIPS 206, the FNDSA based on Falcon, expected to be out soon for your review and comment. We're also working on a special publication to allow people to derive keys from a seed. Instead of like saving the big key, people could use a small seed and redrive the key pair whenever they need it to save storage for many use cases. And also for HQC, the one we concluded with the fall round, we expected a draft to be sometime this year as well. And also for the SLH-DSA, the signature is big, and we receive a lot of requests from the community industry to provide new options with shorter signatures. And we've been working on that. And the draft supposed to be should be come out very soon for your review and comments. And we plan to finish the second round for the on-ramps this year, and we'll start the third round this year as well. And again, a big note we want everybody to carry is that migrate to post-quantum as soon as possible, but not but should be before 2035. Yep. I think I just stop here, and then I save time to have your questions.
Great. We have quite a few. Thank you so much for a great presentation, Quinn. Let me ask you one question. I'll throw in mine first, and then I'll look at the chat window because there's quite a few questions that have come in. So one, I'm hearing a lot about potential government mandates to migrate. But my question is, and I've looked for this kind of documentation quite a few places, but how are we supposed to, what are these mandates? And how are we supposed to prove that we meet these mandates? Do you understand my question? Is there work being done on a standard to that end?
For non-classified sensitive information system, for the U.S. government for non-classified sensitive system, the system are governed by FISMA, and and each agency, they do their own audits, their own checking to make sure the security requirements are met. And for NIST, we have specifications, and we have FIPS 240. We basically list the way how people can have their crypto modules validated and tested, and then those modules, validated modules, can be put in products and be sold to the agency which are using those components in their system. And we're aware of a lot of other agencies around the world, especially the one many countries in NATO. They kind of voluntarily adopted our approach to have their system validated, use validated FIPS 140 modules as well.
Yeah, this is a long conversation, and I'll just say one thing, and then go on to the questions. What the problem, in my opinion, is like, let's say we have an enterprise. An enterprise can have millions of devices, and each device can have tens or maybe even 100 applications, and then each connection can do a different version of TLS, a different cipher suite. You can calculate that. And so how do you prove where the problem that you are meeting these standards, and how do you figure out where to change? Do you see what I'm kind of getting at? I'm looking at it from the
Yeah.
enterprise point of view. It is a big problem. Yeah. And
Yes.
it's kind
Yeah.
of like,
That's a good point. That's a really really big and complex problem. Um, and I think the anti-COE, no, yeah, the anti-COE, the that I just mentioned, they've been working on that aspect with the industry, and they have a lot of insights, and they have thought about this and have gone through many other aspects of that. And so I really strongly recommended you to consider to join in them, and their documents and their demonstrations would help a little bit. They had a couple of documents which actually discuss about how to do inventory, like how to find out what cryptos are actually in your system. First of all, you need to do that. You need where are the cryptos have been used in your actual system, and then from there we can go from there. But I can see the big system, a big collaboration, a big corporation there have very massive IT infrastructure. It's not easy at all. I can see the headache and a lot of time and resources put into it, and it got to be over years in order to accomplish that. It's
no, it's yeah.
significant scale.
Yeah, I definitely will join that forum and then have, in fact, I'd love to I'll try and get them talking to us too. But let me not dominate. Let me get, a lot of other people have questions. So here's one. Falcon and correspondingly FNDSA does not seem like a good option because its implementation is quite hard to validate. And then there's a next question to that. Does NIST consider an alternative such as Hawk?
Yes, Hawk is in the process right now. I personally like Hawk, and we am looking at Hawk very seriously. Um, Hawk is certainly can have easier to implement securely than Falcon, in my opinion. Um, but uh, we are more confident in the Falcon Security Foundation right now than with Hawk. So we would uh, would need time to for Hawk to be analyzed more by the cryptographic community. But certainly Hawk is a nice option. It is beside the verify, it is faster than the Lithium and Falcon generally. It is, but it is slower in verify than Falcon. However, it uses less RAM and it's smaller sizes, so it's quite nice. The only issue, in my view, is that um, uh, I would want more time for more analysis to be confident, to be feel confident that the isomorphic automorphism ladders is actually really strong because it's new assumption. Even though we know right now lattice attacks are the only best attack we have on Hawk, and if the lattice attack alone, then Hawk seems fine. But we don't know the new assumption, that new structure. It could it could have something in there that we're not sure about its security. But with what we have right now, it looks promising. But again, Falcon is very small than ML-DSA in a good amounts, and it has very fast verify. And some people have done very good implementations of Falcon, like the person in the Falcon team, I Thomas Pond. He's really good at this, and he has good implementation of that. So people should take a look at his implementation and go from there. That would be very helpful. And also ask him for tips and for any details. But I agree with that comment. Yeah, Hawk is simpler, nicer, easier for implementers to get right and to feel more confident about their code. But that's a good question. Thank you.
Great, thanks. So we have quite a few. So what methods should be considered for implementing PQ algorithms such as ML-DSA on resource-constrained devices in order to mitigate side channel attack vulnerabilities?
Yeah, I'm not a side channel expert, but the papers that I have reviewed and seen over the years, we have constant time implementation of ML-DSA. And we have seen that in constrained environment as well, and in the normal environment as well with AVX version. But ML-DSA consumes quite more RAM than Hawk, a lot more. Yeah, I can see I can see that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have technical tips in how to implement ML-DSA in constrained environment. I'm not the hardware expert.
I just want to throw something in. And we have some folks from the, I can see some participants from the IoT community here. My suspicion is that a number of these things will be implemented in IoT gateways rather than the device itself. And I understand that leaves like a little space, a gap between the gateway to the device that's vulnerable. But I just have a hard time thinking that we're going to change all these IoT devices. And I'll do a follow on with some of the people that I know that are on who are IoT folks. That would be a very interesting presentation. Any thoughts from your end on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's hard, and certainly it will be costly to implement and put post quantum solution out there to all IT devices. But when we think about the risk of losing our security in the future, then the cost is worth it. Yeah, without security, we wouldn't have anything.
No, definitely. That's why I think the whole plan for migration is very, very important. And I think we've got to take it one step at a time. So let me ask another question. So this is from the DNS group. DNS working group is also following these movements closely. DNSSEC has key size limitations that will be difficult with PQC. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I've been paying attention to this as well, and we have had several meetings at the ITF meetings in the past talking about this important matter. so I do understand that the sizes are really matter. So so like level 3, level 5 of ML-DSA could have some performance impact on the NetSec. So yeah, a smaller signature size options would be very welcome. So Falcon level 1 might do some good. And yeah, and if something like Hawk would be something useful as well. Yeah, I have seen several studies done on the sizes of different PQC options with the NetSec over the last 3 IETF, and they quite helpful and useful for me, because I did write a recommendation on using the NetSec before for people who need to be compliant with FIPS 140, and I'm following that, and I will update. I will or have that update at some point when we have a clear good recommendation on this matter. So this is an active research and active work going on, and I believe that group is going to have a side meeting at the next ITF, but unfortunately, I won't be able to attend in person with this one.
Great. So we've got quite a few more. And then, of course, I have a few. So, why aren't 128-bit strong algorithms deprecated before 2035?
128 bits of what?
Why aren't 128-bit algorithms deprecated before 2035? I guess that seems a little late for some people.
I understood. So I guess that what they meant for symmetric key for the public key 128 or anything would not be allowed after 2035. So that question likely would have been mentioned to talk about symmetric key like AS128. Because right now we still think that AS128 will remain secure when a practical quantum computer becomes available. Because of that, we still allow it. We still allow AS128.
I guess because of Grover's, you don't think that Grover's can be broken as easily with quantum, or it's not that much of an improvement. Is that kind of the idea?
It has Grover has improvement, but the cost still so we do one AES operation on classical computer. It's very fast, right? It's like no time. But if we run a quantum computer, the one operation on AES it's quite some time. And if we do serially 2 to the 64, then that's a long time. But people can do parallels, different parallels to divide it, the subkey to do parallel searches with Grovers on with different quantum computers. We can do faster. However, when you do that, the effect of Grovers has become less, because you do square root of some big number, you get directly cut down. But if that big number to split that into it, you do square root on each of them, you add together, and that the effect of Grover would become a lot less. It become less. And then the main point is that because of that, we still think it would be still okay. Wouldn't be okay. Yeah. The thing is, AI has been widely used, so we have to take a balanced approach. But to see how things go in the future. But right now, we think it's still okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of work being done on parallelization, definitely. So that's, but this, yes, I agree. But if you parallelize, you still have to combine back too. So, um, okay. So, can you give us any rationale for the delay in the draft FIPS 206 for FNDSA Falcon? Why is it taking a, well, of course things take, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, we technically completed a draft for the community to review and to help us with comments to improve it. But the procedure, the legal stuff, the procedure stuff have been slow. So we got yeah, well, we don't have control uh, over that process. It goes several layers and go down to the commerce department, and we don't have control over that. The only things we can do is to talk to our lawyers to ask them to help, but we don't have any control over that. So we plan to have a draft out without the uh, draft out for your review very soon. And we just discussed about that yesterday, no, on Tuesday. Because we know it need to be out. We want it to be out because we really need to get it done. And
Yeah.
and I'm really sorry for that. Yeah, people above us, we don't have control over what.
Yeah, no, you can only do what you can do, then no question. Yeah. So there's an interesting comment. I think it's on based on some of what we're talking about is that for compliance, people are saying CISA might be the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency of the US government. CISA might be better. So I think it's a very good comment. And so Quinn, I'll talk to you offline and see if you've got any contacts at CISA, because that would be a very interesting discussion from them too. Is that do you I guess I take it that you guys communicate with them pretty frequently?
Um, I I'm not sure. I have not been talking to them
Mm.
personally. So yeah, I will need to get back with you on that.
We'll find out. We'll figure out who's doing that. Okay, but that's a very good comment. Okay, boy, we're gonna run out of time. What I'll do is, if we run out of time for questions, then I'll go ahead and send them to you, and then we can send them by email. Um, uh, okay, okay. I think this is again on Hawk and Falcon and some of that stuff going on. And then there's a few more. Oh, hang on. Oh wait, I'm trying to follow the chat, and there's quite a few. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about the IoT devices and middle boxes. And so we'll have to get people in. We'll have to get people in for middle boxes in the IoT world to talk about it. But here's another one. What's the deprecation schedule for asymmetric algorithms with less than 256 bits?
Less than 256.
Yeah, the deprecation for asymmetric with less than 256-bit keys, I guess.
Uh, just did they mean 2256 bits of security or
Let me, you know what? Maybe whoever it is, I think Yuri, could you explain a little more, and I'll go on to the next question. Okay. Yeah, or I can unmute you as well. If I can find you. Hold on. So just a second. One moment. If I can, ugh, sorry. Sometime. Let me do this. Let me see if I can unmute Yuri because you've had quite a few very interesting questions. So Yuri, I believe I have unmuted you. No, maybe I've not. Can you try to speak and then we'll see if I have. Yeah. Yuri, if you do you want to explain your question a little bit more or if you have some other questions or no, if not, then I'll go on to ask some of my own. No. Okay, great. So let me ask you about something which has been a controversy, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. So this is with lamps and the private key formats, and so apparently, let me put this in the chat. So apparently there was a discrepancy or a controversy, if I understand this correctly, between the private keys and so I think lamps defined private keys as only the seed without encoding the full key output in ASN1 encapsulation. And I think some of the FIPS documents wanted the full key. And if I understand the controversy correctly, I think it had to do with if you lose the seed, how do you recover? Can you, if you're familiar with that, can you explain that controversy for everybody and maybe the status of that?
Yes, that's a really good question. Yeah, right now we allow both options. People could use the full key, or people could derive the key again from the seed, which was used to generate the key pair before. Yeah, and yeah, we allow both options, and unfortunately, the ITF have adopted both. So it's quite a not perfect outcome we have at the ITF. But I understand your view. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and a lot of people they wish they just had only one option. It would be easier for and more cost effective in long run. And some people they would love to have only the seed, and then it would be even better because the storage and the maintenance would be easier because the key generation is very fast. A little bit of key chain is not an issue. And then that would be it would have been more perfect because only one option. So then there are no discrepancy, no issue at all. But what we have is what we have. We just gave two options. We hope that people were going to adopt one, but they end up adopt both. Yeah, I'm sorry. I see your smile. I know that's not a happy smile.
No, well, I think part of the problem too is like, when we're getting into, I mean, I live in the implementation world. And so I'm looking at like what OpenSSL or some of the other crypto libraries have. And then I'm like, wait, what? And then some of them too, because like as a developer, I have to depend on, what either Java has or OpenSSL. I mean, because or Bouncy Castle. And the crypto libraries also are having problems with this whole issue. And I know this is all a transition and it'll probably end up somehow there will become a de facto standard because I think you lose the seed, you did, but So what will happen? But anyway, I know I thank you so much for all this. This is in a lot of ways, it's like we've got more questions than answers at this point. But that's kind of where we are, is this is very early. This is very early in a lot of ways, but it's a long process. So if you're going to start, my will start now. Do you want to have some final thoughts on all this? Thank you so much.
Um, I I do appreciate the time to discuss all of important things today, and I thank you for leading the discussion. You have given me wonderful questions, and I'm happy to talk more, or you could send me the questions that other people have, and I will do my best to answer them. Um, the final thought is that do work hard to make the transition before 2035. Um, and then give up your comments and make sure to review our drafts and our specifications, because your reviews and your feedback are very, very critical to us. We need those in order to make our standards better and workable for you. Um, Without your collaboration, we wouldn't be able to do it. And we want our standards to serve you best possible. And keep in touch with us and work with us and to make everything better for everyone.
Thank you so much, Quinn. And I won't see you at IETF next time, but maybe later on. Thank you all so much for your participation, and I hope this was useful to you.